The Boys Season 4, Episode 5 review. Let's get right into this. My overall thoughts about it, I'm pretty indifferent to them, or indifferent to the episode itself. It's definitely not as good as the last episode. Episode 4 was like really good, like I said. One of the, probably the best episode of the season, that's what I said. And maybe one of the best, throughout the entire series. This one definitely didn't come close to it. I'm indifferent about it, even like mixed, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's a bad episode by any means, but it's definitely one of the weaker ones. That's definitely what I can say. Like I'm still trying to formulate my thoughts. I just got done watching the episodes like 7:30 Eastern here. And I still don't know. I still don't know what to say about this episode. Like some things I really liked, other things I didn't. And then yeah, like I guess we'll start with the beginning of the episode. So there was the whole expo thing. It's supposed to be like a parody, the fan expo. That was pretty cool. I like the fan expo a lot. I mean, I've went to a lot of them. Actually, I met some of the boys cast. I met Black Noir. Who else? A Train and MM. I did like a photo op with them. So like I get the parody there. It was pretty cool. And they had also the panel where they announced like their slate. What's this supposed to be like? San Diego Comic Con. That's what it was. I'm trying to remember the name of it. And Marvel, trying to make Disney, but in particular Marvel with their whole Phases saga, their roadmaps that they show um, a lot of the time. And they were parodying. I can't even speak. They were making fun of a whole bunch of Marvel shows. Like one of them was where they were making fun of Secret Invasion. I'm pretty sure, because if you don't know Secret Invasion, I'm pretty in tune with this, but you might know Secret Invasion. They spent a whole bunch of reshoots, and did a whole bunch of reshoots, and the show ballooned. The budget went over like 200 million. It was ridiculous. The amount of money spent on the show was ridiculous, and it just turned out to be absolute doo doo. Long story short, I liked it still. I still enjoyed it a bit, and then the finale just yeah. But besides the point, they're making fun of that whole bunch of Marvel stuff, and then I just found that pretty funny. What else? There's also a joke. I'm trying to remember what else was there. There's a lot of references with obviously Gen V. This episode had a lot tied into that. So if you haven't seen Gen V, honestly, I'd recommend watching because not only is it a good show, but like you also need to like know the stuff that happens in that show, and you might like just know a general idea that could be enough for you. But I don't know. Well, like what's the harm in watching the show? Honestly, it's good, and then it's gonna there's gonna be season 2 as well. So why not watch it? What's the harm? I really liked Kate and Sam's role. Sorry, not really like. I liked the role. It wasn't anything, insane, but it did its job. A lot of the things in this episode did their job. What else? Homelander and Ryan. Ryan's now seemingly, I guess, Homelander's plan is working, where he's kind of just being, I don't know, is he being manipulative? I guess you could say that in a way. He knows that if he just changes his approach, which he did with Ryan, and he's more like he's making it look like he's more laid back, just so he can kind of like get Ryan to do the things that he wants Ryan to do, which is a different approach. And that's what we're seeing in Ryan slowly turning into Homelander, which is what Homelander wants. So that was a pretty big part of this episode. I thought that scene where he's just, yeah, that scene where he's making, I forget her name, but where he's making her the assistant or whatever, just absolutely go insane, just slapping the director a whole bunch of times and nonstop. That's pretty cool. Cruel. What else? This episode also had the moment. I mean, throughout the episode, we saw Hughie and his dad, and then obviously saw it happen in the last episode. He's him right now. He was him. He also got brought back to life, as we know in the last episode, and then we knew this was gonna happen, but then he also got powers, right? And the powers where he can like phase through walls and stuff like that. And what else was it? With that comes him just losing his mind, pretty much forgetting things, being all like scared and things of that nature. And then once that happens, he also has like memory loss. But then he just starts going crazy, and then we knew at that point. I knew, yeah, they're probably gonna let him down, and that's what happened later on in the episode. They had to let him down, and Simon Pegg, man, his acting. Not only this, but I've known him from when I was a young age because of Shaun of the Dead. If you know that movie's goated, man. That's such a good movie. But yeah, he just like every single time throughout the season, even before in the previous season, but particularly this one, his scenes, he just went off. He stole scenes, honestly. Like I was like so sad. He just made me like his acting was so good where it just made me just sad, man. Like I was like, damn, maybe I'm gonna shed a tear because I liked his character. I know some people didn't like his character. Kind of like, what is he even there for? He's like pretty worthless, which is, I guess, it's a fair take. But the acting just did it for me. The acting just made it top tier for me. It was just so sad. And then they were talking about Tom Hanks, obviously the Da Vinci Code, and there's yeah, I thought that was very well done to conclude his story. We knew he was probably gonna die this season anyways, just the way he was posting. The actor was, but it's still pretty sad. But Hughie now finally gets to move on, I suppose, and he has his mom now back in his life. That's another thing. And then what else was there? We also obviously saw Stan Edgar finally. Finally saw him after season 3. It's been a while. We were all wondering when we were gonna see him again. I knew we were gonna see him again. I was talking to my friend about this. I just had a feeling he was about to come back soon, and he came back this episode coincidentally. I knew there's something up. I'm like, no way he came back for like such a big, for like a big role where he's gonna be over multiple episodes, like for like a supporting role, I guess. I knew it was gonna be a cameo, and that's what happened. They kind of did debate us. Maybe people thought something like that, and then they obviously finessed him with the pardon, where he got pardoned, where they released him because it was for the virus. And also we saw that's not what happened. A whole bunch of things happened, and it didn't go as planned. So they finessed him, and they finessed and sent him back. But then Newman, even though she like has her feelings about her dad, which she doesn't like. She doesn't really like him at that moment. That's still her dad at the end of the day. She realized that. And then when they're driving away, taking him back to prison, she obviously just explodes the driver's head, the CIA whatever, his head, and just gets him out. So now that's another thing. Stan Edgar's on the loose, and then there's that whole sequence with the animals and them just having powers, obviously, which we find out why in the episode. And it was like it was crazy, but I don't know. I didn't find it to be anything like. Obviously, it was pretty over the top, but I don't know. It didn't really move me. I was just like, okay, this is cool. Like this is fine, but it didn't really move me like that. I know some people might be going crazy over that, but it didn't move me. Um, Obviously, that was also shown in the promo. We saw Sam and Cat also from Gen V, like I said earlier. I'm pretty sure. What else? TEK KNIGHT. That was another big one. TEK KNIGHT we saw. I loved him in Gen V, and I'm glad we saw them. So like, yeah, the continuation, the crossover, like they said, there is some stuff carrying over. Maybe we'll see more of them, but I don't think so. I think this is all we're gonna see from them for the season. And then what else was there? I think I'm forgetting some. There was like a whole bunch of Easter eggs throughout this episode, and I forgot some of them. But yeah, a lot of them were pertaining to just making fun of Disney and Marvel and just superhero genre in general. But those were very funny. If you caught on to those, if you know, you know. Oh, what else? I feel like I'm forgetting something else. Uh, just in general. Oh, what else? There's A Train. His arc continues. They're getting closer to the mystery. They're getting TEK KNIGHT even in on this. And watch MV, TEK KNIGHT does not play around. This man, that's undefeated, bro. This man he's like it's like Better Call Saul in terms of just solving the cases, man. In his profession, he is not miss. He's gonna figure that out, and then after he's gonna go to some hole. But besides the point, A Train's getting close, and we do know that. Okay, I don't want to spoil it, but we do know what the last episode is titled. So if you know where I'm going at, that's what I'm trying to say. So it's not looking good for A Train, but he's trying to get that. He's trying to get Ashley. He's trying to get that favor in from her, and just pretty much forcing her to do it. Otherwise, he's extorting her. Pretty much, that's what it is. And then we see, what's the name? Why am I afraid his name? But yeah, the TV guy you see on the Vought News, who's supposed to be right, Tucker Carlson. I'm pretty sure. Ashley literally pinned it on him because we saw early in the episode. It made sense the way they had this whole like story unfold throughout this episode. This little storyline here is very good. So earlier on in the episode, we saw Ashley and him, pretty much just split up, and then after that, obviously, Atron comes in, so they need a favor, blah blah blah, and then later on, we find out when they're in the Vought Tower, they're having pretty much like a conference, and then Homelander's like, blah, blah, you guys gotta do this, you gotta prove, you gotta be like, you guys can't be celebrities anymore, you guys are gonna have to be like ruthless and stuff, and then they bring him in, who's pretty much supposed to be the rat, right, the informant, who pretty much got the information and leaked it. And then, yeah, that was it. And then yeah, they go on and absolutely destroy him. He got the beats from almost every single one of them. I don't know what else to say. This episode was well, Jeffrey D. Morgan. I forgot the name of his character. I'm sorry, bro. Honestly, I'm kind of like yeah, I'm disappointed with his character. I'm just gonna say, bro. I'm disappointed with it. I don't know what like his character's there. Like I hope it like progresses more to where I like him. But right now his character's kind of there. They kind of just, I feel like his role's not that good for me. It's not working for me to be honest. Maybe you might like it. I don't. It's not working for me. I don't know what it is about it. It just feels. I don't know. I feel like they just didn't have anything. They wanted him in the show just because Jeffrey D. Morgan and he wanted to be in it, but they didn't have like a good like they didn't really have a role for him. So they just kind of like made something. I'm like, whatever. It's good enough, I guess. It works. It's fine, and that's kind of what happened. Like I have like no attachment to him. I don't care for him at all. And also I noticed in part two, um, his schedule back then. He was filming The Walking Dead, and he was finishing that up. And then he also had to, I guess, split his time in a way with the boys and work his schedule around that. So he was gonna have a supporting role for like this whole time. So that makes sense. But still, like the character could have been better written. Like I don't know what it is. It's just not intriguing at all in any bit. But we do see he finally gets Butcher back to, I guess, the old Butcher in a way. He's pretty ruthless. And they do get Samir, who, if you don't remember, or not remember, if you don't know, found this episode, that's Samir is um, Newman's husband. And obviously they had the kid. And yeah, that was one of the, I guess, surprises of this episode. And then what else was there? I think I'm forgetting. What else am I forgetting? MM and his daughter. There's that whole thing going on. Um, what else? Am I forgetting anything else? I think that's about it. Firecracker, and yeah. So now Firecracker's pretty much trying to get. She's gonna get charges on, or press charges on what's her name, on Annie. And what else did she do? Oh yeah. Also yeah, she's pretty much putting the blame on Starlight for killing Ezekiel. She thinks Starlight killed Ezekiel or whatever, when it was actually Butcher. And then we still don't know anything about how Butcher killed him. We have an idea what it was, but we still don't know. What else? Frenchie, he's like trying to just like he's pretty much just grieving right now with the whole situation with Colin. And then he turns himself in near the episode, and near the end of the episode, he turns himself in for the murder of Colin's family. And then we'll see where that goes. What else was there? I feel that's about it. Like most episodes about like the fan expo. Obviously, we see the whole thing with the Deep. There's also that little arc with the Deep and the Vought News guy. the Deep, the Deep was saying some funny stuff this episode. If you know, you know. He was saying some funny things this episode too. The news guy, Sage, she's still, she's on the hunt. She definitely knows. Like just from this episode alone, I don't know if anyone else interpreted that way, but she definitely knows what's going down in this episode. I mean, sorry, she definitely knows that A Train's the one behind it, and she's trying to see how far she can push A Train to limits. Like how far can A Train go until he just finally admit like he's seen too much, man. He can't handle it. He can't see all these other people paying for something they didn't do. And then once he like, she's pretty much trying to like bait him to get him, to admit it himself that he did it. So that's why ultimately he's gonna die. A Train's gonna die. There's no way. Even more this episode. Now I'm like, last week I thought that too. This week I'm even more believing into that theory. And tied it in with the episode name, episode 8. It's not looking good. I think I covered about everything. That's about it. Let me know what you think down below. Overall, this episode it was decent. I'll say it was decent. It was like a 6 or 7. Okay, it's a 6 or 7.